Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Real Talk with Joe and Dina. How you doing today?
I'm good. I need a little coffee. But
A little coffee? I could definitely do a shot of espresso maybe right now. But we got a very cool topic here for you for this week. And I actually gave this quote the other day, I think in one of my leadership meetings or maybe in one of my huddle calls with some of our leaders within La Rosa. And it goes like this, right? This is from an old Chinese proverb. So I'm going to read it so I make sure I don't screw it up. I don't want to piss off the Chinese proverb. The person who says that it cannot be done should not interrupt the person who is actually doing it, right? And so, it kind of came to me that day.
Sit down and shut up and don't interfere with people's dreams and hopes.
Yeah, right? Because you know what? If you really look at it, the people that are probably talking in your ear saying you can't do this, they probably have some insecurities that maybe they haven't been able to really kind of realize yet, right? And so sometimes I think that we've always heard how important it is to surround ourselves with the right people, positive people,
Yep.
right? Because a positive mindset is going to take you so freaking far, and compared to a negative mindset ain't going to take you nowhere, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
be careful who you surround yourself with for sure, and especially when you're trying to achieve greatness.
You're always gonna have family and friends and people around you that want to give you their opinion, and sometimes it's with the greatest of intentions. Like if you say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this great thing," and you've never stuck to anything in your life, and they're like, "Oh, they always say that and they don't do it," then maybe they're gonna start being like a Debbie Downer to you, But it's if you have the commitment and you want to do something, then you just need to prove it. Take action every day and get there. But to everyone that's listening, if you have someone in your life that actually comes to you with this great hope and dream and they believe in themselves and they want to do something, don't just look at them like, "Oh, that's crazy, you shouldn't do that," because you want to play it safe. And that's what it comes down to. Like there's so many people that play it safe every day and they live in fear instead of faith, and they don't want to take risks, so they don't want anyone around them to do that. They just downplay it and push them down. And so just because you may not want to take risks and maybe you're not someone that takes massive action and really like goes for it, don't take other people down with you.
Yeah, so it's actually there's two ways that we can go, about this, right? Is exactly it, right? So if you are for whatever reason, maybe you're that negative person, right? Don't bring somebody else down, right? Don't kill their dreams.
Yeah.
And of course, the other way of looking at it is that if you're that person that's going to go out there and really like, I'm going to achieve greatness, I'm going to achieve like all these amazing things, and you find people that are just talking in your ear, look, it's okay to fire your friends. Okay,
Yeah.
It's okay to you can even divorce family if you need to. If they're also say the culprits, right? If they're telling you, "Oh, you can't do this, it's crazy," right? So I'm a big believer too as well, is that every single day, right? You should, where your focus goes, your energy flows, right?
Yeah.
So the Tony Robbins quote is that when you start your day, you should start it off, with the right mindset, right? If you wake up in the morning and you're like, "Oh shit, man, here we go again. Like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna be a hell of a day. This is gonna be a challenge. This is gonna be whatever." What makes it worse is that when obviously that's the wrong way to wake up. It's the wrong way to even think.
And then surround yourself.
Well, right. Then all of a sudden now you walk into, maybe it's, listen, I don't want to cause any divorces here or any kind of split ups, but maybe it's even your significant other, not my amazing wife here. She'll slap me in the back of the head saying, "What the hell are you thinking? Like, get your shit back to back in gear." But if
really slap 'em.
no, she just pats me. So if you're in that kind of an environment, that's gonna freaking suck the energy out of it, Or maybe it's not at your house. Maybe it's when you get to work. Maybe it's who you work with, right? I've always noticed this too, and I don't know how people are going to take this, but I've seen, even, and I have to be careful kind of how I say it because I don't want to offend anybody, but I've seen even like realtors, right, within our own company, right, that they kind of gravitate towards each other, and the ones that are successful typically gravitate towards other successful agents. Or they can actually gravitate maybe an inexperienced newer agent, maybe that's not as successful, but that agent's mindset is as strong as theirs, right? They're a big believer, I'm going to achieve this, whatever else. So make sure that you really kind of surround yourself with the right people. If you're in a environment, if you're in an office setting, if you're in a bullpen setting, whatever it may be, and there's other agents or other people within your business, right, whatever craft it is that you have, if they're talking about, gosh, man, interest rates are freaking ridiculous right now, the market sucks, the market is this, whatever, business is slow, the economy is horrible, whatever it is, right, man, those people, I can almost like bet a lot of money on the fact that I know kind of what their end results are probably going to look like, right? Would you agree?
Well, yeah, because like you make excuses, right? And like there's a reason why they say you are the sum of the 5 people you are around, right? Because if you're surrounded by naysayers and people that are like, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do this, oh, the market's bad, oh, the economy's bad, this is not the right time, and they have all those negative things, or like, oh, so like everything's happening to them, then that's what you're going to say, you're going to feel. So even if you start your day thinking, oh, I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to do this, and then you surround yourself with people that are naysayers and victim mode, it is going to like fill you up. It's literally like the black cloud that comes over you. So you have to be conscious of who you're spending your time with. And then there's like, I heard a saying once that it was like, hang out with 33% of people that are on your level, 33% of people that are below your level, and 33% of people that are above. And what that means, and not below your level like insulting, but like, 33% of people that want to be where you're at. So lift them up, right? And then be hanging out with people that are where you want to be so that they can lift you up. And that's really how you should think about in all your interactions. It's okay, like we all have family members and friends that are maybe like, just negative on stuff. We've even had people like, oh, well, I don't need that much, or, oh, I like a simple life. And they're inadvertently, like they're insulting you, right? Like as if, oh, well, we want more, like, oh, we should feel bad that we want more. No, but we do a lot more with what we have. So you have to be conscious of that and like kind of just not even take offense to it, and just again focus on the people that either want you to lift them up to help, because that's what we live for. We live for lifting other people up that want opportunities and help, but we want to be lifted up. We want to be surrounded by people that have achieved greatness and more than we have, because we want to keep building and growing. So, it's just, you have to be so aware of who is speaking into you, because you absorb it like a sponge. So if you're constantly being around people, right, that are speaking negative into you, your life, your abilities, your capabilities, then you're going to absorb it, and that's who you become. And that's where there's so many people that have self-worth issues. It's because of what we were told growing up. It's because of what, we believed about ourselves. So you have people walking around, right, that we're around that have the utmost confidence. They are maybe confident, cocky, or whatever. They're walking around. But let me tell you, they may be acting like that, but they have real self-worth issues, which is why they always stop here. And they can't get to next level, because they just don't believe that next level is meant for them or that they deserve it. So, you just got to take inventory of the people that you let speak life into you or drain you.
So I like what you said about like kind of who to hang out with, right? 33, and 33. But what about the other 1%?
You're such an ass.
I always,
the other 1%.
I always got to bust your chops, right? But
33.3. I wasn't going to say that.
I was actually saving that line.
A third.
I was saving that line in my head for like the last like 2 or 3 minutes, because you were going on and on. I'm gonna make sure I bring that back up to you.
You were so distracted.
I was. I do get distracted. More than you think. It's like squirrel.
My ADD. I do that all the time.
Yeah. So I think I'm like that annoying.
We just did it.
Yeah. I'm like that, there's this a documentary that we're watching on Netflix now about the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and it's actually really, well, I know, yeah, it is, but it's kind of like there's like this one annoying guy that keeps popping up, and I think I'm becoming that annoying guy, so I gotta get my shit together.
You're not the annoying guy.
All right, so listen, going back into this, the other part too as well is if you want to grow, right? I think kind of what you were touching on, but I'll kind of go a little deeper into it, is that look at your circle. Right? If you really want to be able to achieve greatness, or you are gonna in essence be kind of like who you surround yourself with. Yeah. So what's that old saying? If you're the smartest person in the room, right?
Leave the room. Yeah.
Leave the room. It's time to go find like a new room and surround yourself. You know what? Just came to me. Another 20 quote.
Yeah.
Proximity is what?
Proximity is power.
Yes.
I thought we were gonna like say it together. I was trying to have that that's amazing, but
Proximity
is power, and it is absolutely true. And you know what? Some people will get insulted by that, like, oh, like, you know, like if you're the smartest person in the room, but it's not like meant to be that way. So we have to take the negative out of everything. It's just that, like, you can be surrounded by people that are happy where they're at, and that's great. But if you're a high achiever and like you want to master things and you really want to create this massive impact, you have to be surrounded by people that are going to motivate you to do more, be more, and go for more. And so, like, and we have such a great mix of friends where, like, you know, like maybe they don't want to do what we're doing, but they're our cheerleaders, right? And maybe that's not for you. It's the same thing like if you're an entrepreneur or if you're employed by someone. That's a totally different type of mindset, because I've been like in corporate world and I'm employed by someone and there's that consistency, that almost security, right, in that paycheck and everything, versus when you're an entrepreneur, you are betting on yourself, you know, right? Like you wake up in the morning, it's not like, well, even if I wake up late or if I call in sick today, I'm still going to get my paycheck. No, like you better get your ass to work because you're relying on you. You're betting on yourself. So that mentality, like you can have different people surrounding you with different mentalities, but they still are supportive and like, yeah, you go. I love what you're doing. What can I do to help and support you? But then there's other people like, well, I don't know why you keep doing that. Like I've had people say, I don't know why you opened another company. You're not happy with what you have. It's like, I was happy when I was poor. I was happy when I lost everything when the market crashed, because I was still in gratitude, because I am grateful, because I know what God has planned for me. I have my husband, my kids are helping me, my family's good. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to get to the next level and achieve more, because I want to be able to give back more. I want to be able to create more for my family. And if people are making you feel guilty about that, you need to kick them to the friggin' curb. Do not keep people around you that are not happy for your success, for your growth. And they may not want it, but let them be supportive of you. And if they're not, bye-bye. What's the saying? Bye-bye, Felicia. Bye-bye. It's the same people that can't support your uniqueness, people that can't support your journey. You got to get them out of your circle because they will tear you down.
You know, so I'm looking at some of the notes that we had, you know, here for this topic. So I'm curious if this kind of came from you or maybe it's from our behind the scenes producers. When you talk about surrounding yourself with positive people, right? It's not really just yes people. It's actually really positive people, right? Yes. So, because there are people.
Yes, but no.
Yeah. You just fell into that one.
I know.
I pulled you into that one. So, but there are people that are always going to be yes. Oh, absolutely yes. Right. But you want somebody that's really going to be, you know, encouraging. You know what? We talked about, I think, in one of the other episodes. You feel their energy, right? And why I think it's so important to surround yourself with the right people is because you want their energy to you want to kind of take advantage of their energy. You want to use their energy so that you can become better, you know, at whatever it is that you want to become better at, right? So I think that's extremely important to kind of know the difference, because there's a lot of people out there that are going to pretend to be like, you know, on your side or, sure, absolutely right. You can feel whether or not they're really, really, really behind you and supporting you and committed and everything else.
And one of the things that comes to mind when you say that about yes people, it's like, you know, like true friends will not always give you the answer you want, right? Like, so if you're surrounded by people or mentors, they're not always going to tell you what you want, but they're going to do it in a constructive way to help to build you up, not tear you down. So like when Joe says, like, just don't be surrounded by yes people. If I say I'm going to do something that's completely like insane, like I don't expect my friends to be like, yeah, okay, I believe in you, I can support you. No, they may say, oh, I'm curious. Well, how are you going to do this? Or did you think of this? And that's like support, right? Or if you're about to make a really bad decision or a decision that is a lack of integrity, you want your friends and the people around you to be like, yeah, no, don't do that. So it's not just the yes people, but it's people that actually listen. You know, they're not just being like, okay, yeah, whatever you say. They're listening, and maybe they're asking you if you want some feedback, and you have to be willing to take the feedback, right? So make sure when you're speaking to your sphere of influence or your friends or your family or your coworkers, make sure you make it clear in the communication. Are you just sharing? Do you want them to give feedback? Or like, what is it that you want? Because that's like a big thing in any relationship. It's like when you go to someone, it's like, I'm just venting and I just want you to support and listen, versus I'm venting, I want you to support me, but I also want you to give me feedback, you know? So be careful what you who you're sharing with, and be clear on what you're expecting in return.
Yeah.
Which is kind of off topic, but I'm known for doing that. But it just came to me because that is like a real important thing to avoid a problem in a conversation, is to be clear on what's your intention, like whether you want feedback or not.
Yeah, so just look, to recap this week's message, right? Don't become that person that is going to be interrupting people, from achieving their goals and their greatness. And then if you're that person trying to achieve, greatness and accomplish all these amazing things, just be mindful of who you're surrounding yourself with, right? Don't let these negative people kind of pull you back or stop you from really being, the best that you can possibly be, right? So it's okay to fire your friend. It's okay to do whatever you need to do. Focus on, just not letting anything stop you from achieving greatness.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you want your energy to be here and what you do to be here, then you can't always be surrounded by people that their energy's here and that they're, it's not going to work. So anyway, like Joe said, this is about just surrounding yourself with positive people. Be very, very intentional about who you're around. And we love you all. And we'll see you next time on the next episode of Real Talk with Joe and Dina.